Okay, welcome. This is lesson 6.1, notes on fractions, decimals, and percents. And today we're going to be rewriting fractions and decimals and percents using different representations. So some key ideas here in writing percents as decimals is that 82% can be changed with understanding that there's a decimal after the 82 and moving it 2 decimal places. The way I like to think of percent is percent means the number out of 100. So one way to think about this 82% is that it means 82 out of 100, because that's what percent means. So essentially, if you divide by 100, you can change your percentage to its equivalent fraction, which is the 2 decimal places here, 0.82. Conversely, when you have a decimal and you want to make a percent, the opposite of dividing by 100 is to take your decimal and multiply it by 100, and that should get you back to your percentage. So, or reading place value. In this case, they're saying to move 2 decimal places to the right. So if I have 0.47, I know that this is 47 out of 100 for hundredths. If I take this decimal and multiply by 100, I do get the 47, which means 47%. So there's a couple different ways of thinking about converting. So we have some examples here, converting between percents and decimals. Write each percent as a decimal or each decimal as a percent. So depending on what we're given here. So this is 39%, which means 39 out of 100. And if I use my calculator to divide, that's going to be 0.39, or 39 in the hundredths place. Okay, for number 2, I have 12.6%. That's 12.6 out of 100, which when we divide, we get 0.126. Here we have a decimal. That's tenths, hundredths, 5 in the hundredths place. So 5 in the hundredths place, which means 5%. And in part D, we have 1.25. 1 is a whole number, so that's going to be 100% plus 25 hundredths, which is going to be another 25%, for a total of 125%. Again, we could just take this number, multiply it by 100, and that will give us our percent. Okay, in example number 2, we're looking at fractions and converting them to a decimal and then a percent. Remember that a fraction is a division problem. So for all of these, you could do numerator divided by denominator. So I could do a long division here, 4 divided by 5. Or if I want, I can just make it equivalent to out of 100. Since 5 is a factor of 100 and goes into 100 evenly, I know that's going to be times 20. So all I would have to do is do 4 times 20, which is 80. So I know that that would be 80%. So some of these, if you know your denominator goes into 100, just make it equivalent to out of 100. And get your equivalent fraction, and then the number out of 100 is your percentage. In part B, 11 doesn't go into 100 evenly, so we're going to have to divide here. We're going to do 15 divided by 11 to get our decimal equivalent here, and then our percent. So 11 goes into 15 one whole time, so we know it's going to be 100% and then some. When we subtract, we have a 4, so we're going to bring down a 0. Well, 11 goes into 40 3 times for 33. We subtract, we get a 7 remainder. Bringing down another 0, it's going to go in 6 times for 66. And then we have a 4 remainder. We bring down another 0. And we're noticing that this is going to be repeating 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6. So we can say that it is times 100 is going to be 136% approximately. And that's with rounding, obviously. Okay, try it. We have a few try it problems. Go ahead and pause the video, try these next few problems, and then turn it back on to check our work together. Okay, 5/8. If you do 5 divided by 8, we get 0.625. And then to get our percentage, okay, times this number times 100 gives us 62.5%. 6/7, 6 divided by 7 is 0.857. So that's going to be 85.7%. Okay, 11 divided by 3. Well, 3 goes into 11 3 times, and we have a 0.6 repeating. So if we repeat that 6 here a couple times, we're going to have 366.6% repeating, or to round to a whole number there, it's going to be 367%. So depending on if you rounded it to the nearest whole percent. And 3 divided by 1,000 is 0.003, so it's not even 1%. So that's going to be the decimal over here when you times it by 100 is 0.3%. Okay, now we have a word problem. An ice rink is open December through February. The table shows the attendance each month as a proportion of the total attendance. How many times more guests visit the ice rink in the busiest month than in the least busy month? In December, we have a decimal here, 72%. Here we have 3 out of 25. So to make that equivalent to out of 100, we would do times 4 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. So this would be 12%. And this is 16%. So we are comparing December through February from the busiest month to the least busiest month. Well, the least busiest month is actually January. So we are comparing these two, 72 and 12. How many more times? So 72 divided by 12 is 6. So it's 6 more times in December than January. And you can double check that. You could do 12 times 6 and you'll get right back to 72. All right, that was your 6.1 notes.